Oh,
Hello, everyone. Hello, Dallas, and hello to all my global viewers. Thank you so much for joining. And today is a very exciting day. So, the November 7th, one of the most, the historical, the memory of all of us, US citizens, and also all the, people who are excitingly waiting. So, on this exciting days, we also have a very exciting guest with us today in our studio. So Aisha News, it will deliver the very exciting news, community, and the quality programs throughout the week, and then, of course, my global gupshup show. And this is your host Anu, and thank you so much for joining again. And this is really one of the exciting day that I am going to introduce a very special, unique guest in our studio. So, folks, being said that, you can enjoy, also in the morning yoga programs on our, the channel, and meditation, religious discourse, social, economical, and political shows as well. So, on today's Global Gupshup live talk show on Facebook and YouTube, you are going to be getting a lot more very exciting talk and a conversation with one of the expert of a green nanotechnology. And today's segment is rather unique, I should say, because and it's very different as well. We've been talking all this time about the pandemic and keeping track of what's going on around the world, updates, and hoping and praying to get some kind of a solution, some kind of a cure as soon as possible to and working very hard towards that as well. So, folks, there might be some news. Like I said, what I'm about to introduce. The subject and the research results from our guest. And as we all know, I have to talk about a little bit about Ayurveda. Ayurveda medicine has been around for, we all know, like 5,000 years, and is often called as a mother of healing. And it seems from ancient, like a Vedic culture that, as we know, and it's been taught for many, many thousands of years. The main goal, I should say, for Ayurveda is to speak mainly is to balance life and also maintaining, like good health. So Ayurveda focuses mainly on strengthening our body system and immunity rather than disease itself. And it treats very individually, in each individual very uniquely, looking at the broader aspect of life. So, being said that, our today's guest is a research scholar and also a scientist, a very well known scientist, I should say, and a physician who has very promising news about virus that's been causing a chaos throughout the world. So, folks, he's a professor of, radiology, director, Institute of Green Nanotechnology for a medical school, University of Missouri, Columbia, in here in the United States of America. And he is internationally renowned as a leader in the in interconnecting fields of I should say many like a chemistry, radio pharmaceutical science, nanotechnology, specifically green nanotechnology, and the nanomedicine for biomedical applications, specifically for molecular imaging and the therapy of living subjects. So he is considered to be a pioneer in the field of nano Ayurvedic medicine, a new medical modality that should say that which he has discovered by the application of green nanotechnology, connecting to Ayurvedic holistic medicine. So he has been, I should say that he has won many awards, and he has received the like a father of a green nanotechnology, a citation by the Nobel Prize winner Norman Podlock, and also and he has also been recognized as one of the 25 most influential scientists in molecular imaging in the world by our teammate. So, and he has been bestowed with the, Gauss Professorship Hall of Fame from the Göttingen Academy of Sciences. And he's the first immigrant, I should say, American to win the Outstanding Missourian Award, the highest civilian award from the governor of state of Missouri. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure and an honor to invite our today's guest, Dr. Katish V. Katti, to the show, and I'm very happy to have him with us. Thank you so much, Dr. Katish, for joining. Welcome to my show, and it's an honor to have you today with us. How are you?
Great. Thank you, Anu, for a very elaborate introduction. Hello,
Absolutely.
everybody. It's a pleasure to be with all of you. And again, thank you for the invite, Anu.
Well, I will be honest with you. It was very difficult for me to even shorten your bio because it is. I mean, it everything is important in that one. So I tried my very best to highlight some of them, and definitely, like you deserve the honor of mentioning everything. So people will visit there to go ahead and just look at that. So, like I said, today is a very exciting day for all of us. And before we even start, we want to know a little bit about yourself. So talk a little bit about yourself, like where you're from, and like what your little background.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm from India, specifically from northern part of Karnataka.
Mhm.
I was born in a city called Dharwad, which is, you might say, between Bangalore and Mumbai, almost equidistant. I did my schooling in Dharwad, Bachelor of Science from Dharwad. Then I went to Mysore to do a Masters in Science Education because I have always been interested in becoming a teacher. Then science excited me. After my master's in science education, I went to Bangalore. And I was selected to for the PhD program at the Indian Institute of Science. Then after my PhD, I was selected for a very prestigious fellowship called as the Alexander von Humboldt Fellowship at the University of Göttingen in Germany. So I did research there at that University of Göttingen, and then partly at the Max Planck Institute in Göttingen. Then I was recruited. I was actually planning to return to India. My parents were hoping that I would go back, and I was excited too. But your career is always powerful. I'm sure all the
True.
audience, you have had the same experience. Then I was recruited into the United States, and I've been
Right.
here at the University of Missouri in the medical school for the last 30, close to 31 years, doing
Wow.
medical research. And some of
Mhm.
that I will talk today. Again, thank you, Anu, for this opportunity.
Absolutely, our pleasure to have, and we are really excited to know more about your research. And as we go, that we are going to give a lot more to our audience today. Let us start. One of the things that I actually want to ask you is, like, you have traveled. You said that like more than 45 countries. And a lot of experience, and you met a lot of people, and seen that what exactly is needed as far as the healthcare is concerned. So let's talk about a little bit of a connection with the Ayurveda. So how is it received in other countries, and then how related to the in relation to the other comparatively to the allopathic medicine?
Yeah, it's a very composite question.
Hmm.
It takes much longer to think and answer, but I will do my best.
Hmm.
Um, as you rightly pointed out in the introduction, Ayurvedic medicine is over 5,000 years old. It was
Right.
started by our ancestors in India.
Hmm.
Um, and in fact, if you really go through the literature and talk with the experts in India,
Hmm.
which I have done, many in the audience know, the term medicine,
Hmm.
anything to do with medicine, it actually was started in India. over 5,000 years ago.
Right.
And the modality that they practiced, which now
Mhm.
we call it as Ayurvedic medicine, has been known, and they were practicing Ayurvedic medicine using herbs, plants with certain metals. We'll get into that in a moment in a more
Sure.
detailed way. But, they were treating diseases from, from inflammatory diseases to cancer, arthritis. You might say the results were anecdotal, but
Mhm.
my, reasoning, not the argument, is that whatever they
Of
did,
course.
they
Hmm.
must have done something correctly. Otherwise, human civilization would have been wiped out.
Right.
That did not
Right.
happen.
Right.
So they didn't know the concept of science.
Hmm.
19th, 20th century, and into 21st century, if you really look at what they were doing, now
Hmm.
we are able to unravel really
Right.
powerful science behind what they were doing. Something we'll
Right.
talk to. Yeah.
About it. So what, that's very interesting because I know that it's very it is very hard to, like what you said, that to answer that question in such a short time, because there are a lot more things that are interrelated to that one, that if you go deeper into it. So but let's go and go ahead and like find out like what exactly that's the, like something that's important, that what we plan today to talk about is um, in your research, you have, I mean, when we were talking, you mentioned something like, Ayurveda uses something called Swarnabhasma, that is one of the most well-known medicine that has been widely used by patients and also for cure. So, um, you said that it's been very different using the green nanotechnology, and how is it different than what actually been existed already?
Yeah. Yeah, let me answer that question, because that's a very, in my opinion, it is such a powerful question,
Right.
because
Mm-hmm.
Swarna Bhasma is, as you know, Anu, and all the audience know,
Mm-hmm.
it is an iconic Ayurvedic medicine. It
Right.
has been around for a long time.
Okay.
Um, and Swarna Bhasma is almost ubiquitous to Ayurvedic medicine.
Okay.
And it has been around for thousands of years. Now we need to
Mm-hmm.
ask that question: if
Mm-hmm.
something has existed for 5,000 years,
Right.
why this did not, Ayurvedic modality in general, did not penetrate the global population?
Right.
It has penetrated less than 1% of the global population,
Correct.
but it has
Correct.
the power. Look at
Right.
WHO. World Health Organization says a human population across the world, 80%, 85% of the population would like to use holistic uh, herbal medicine
Right.
at some stage in their lifespan to
Mm-hmm.
take care of their health and hygiene.
Correct.
But it has not happened. So that
Mm-hmm.
applies to Ayurvedic medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So our first task, which started almost 30 years ago, was to analyze what is there in Swarna Bhasma and how it is being made.
Yes. Yes.
That's when we discovered that there are
Mm-hmm.
certain ingredients. I know, with
Mm-hmm.
great respect to Ayurvedic medicine, I respect it greatly, but
Mm-hmm.
there are certain ingredients, knowingly or unknowingly, those ingredients such as heavy metals,
Mm-hmm.
mercury, they're not accepted within the general medical modality because they have proven toxic side effects. So
Okay.
that's when we
Okay.
thought that whether we can replicate Swarna Bhasma without the toxic ingredients in them. That
Mm-hmm.
is when we discovered that we can apply green nanotechnology, where we
Mm-hmm.
produce gold nanoparticles using
Mm-hmm.
exactly the same Ayurvedic herbs, which are known in the
Mm-hmm.
Ayurvedic literature, but
Right.
without the
Right.
use of any toxic metals.
So
That was,
let me, sorry to interrupt, but so you said that these are herbals, like the herbs, the so-called the plants that what we are actually using in your medication. So those are already have that those metals, or those have been ignored, or like is this something that we want to like introduce them as a in a medicinal form in a higher dosage? So can you explain a little bit about it? Because it makes sense that when we know a little bit.
yeah. all of us know Ayurvedic medicine has taught to the whole world. There are many FDA approved products which are of herbal origin. Although when
Right,
we take them for treating diabetes, cancer, we don't give due credit to Ayurveda because
right,
many of these products have plant origin. And how did the
right.
plant origin medication start? In my opinion, if you ask me, it started a
Hmm.
long time ago.
Yeah,
Its roots must go back to Ayurveda. But
right.
now Ayurveda also practices using
Hmm.
metals with herbal cocktails. Cocktails means a mixture of
Oh, mixture of
chemicals from plants.
different. Right,
Yeah, that's
right.
where we thought applying nanotechnology will enhance the effects of herbs
Herbs.
just by
Okay,
taking
okay.
gooseberry, just by consuming phytochemicals in mango or tulsi or turmeric,
Hmm.
it doesn't do the job. What we discovered was when you put them around the gold nanoparticles, you get
Then it.
much better effects. When you
You
put them
you
around silver nanoparticles, you get a whole different effect.
Right, right. So you have also explained in your one of the papers that this green nanotechnology has actually given you like the provided like a very strong source, like a reliable source, and that scientifically like it is very credible when you do it with Ayurvedic formulations, and that involves gold and silver. Specifically nanoparticles, so to speak, when you make it like using very strict rules of Ayurvedic medicine. So why gold and silver? Why not others?
Yeah, sure. In Ayurveda, they have used copper. They have used other metals.
Hmm.
We started our work with gold and silver. We are
Hmm.
making progress with other metals, but each product formulation takes investment of money and investment of time. Okay,
Okay.
what has happened over the period of 5,000 years, or a period of 5,000 years? Uh, I can guarantee you that we didn't take 5,000 years to uncover that. We have taken less than 30 years. Okay. So
Okay.
there'll be many others which will follow what we have done. So to answer
Okay.
your question, gold
Hmm.
we consider mostly for oncology, mostly to boost the
Okay.
immune system,
Hmm.
and our scientific data, uh, validates that. And
Okay.
silver, I'll talk a little bit about silver later on.
Hmm.
Silver has given us a very powerful direction in treating infections.
Okay.
Extremely powerful. So no wonder our ancestors had that knowledge that silver was antibacterial, antifungal, and perhaps antiviral, but they didn't
Okay.
know how to produce it in large quantities. They
Hmm.
didn't know the mechanism. They didn't know the
Right.
dose. So
Right.
we have
Right.
uncovered all of that through green nanotechnology.
Right. Right. So, so it's specifically like what you said, that it's like gold and silver. Are they like a more effective than any other metals, or are they have a special qualities? Is this because of that, or are they good carriers of certain things? So is that the reason that they are highly preferred and they're less toxic?
Yeah, everything what we do in research is based on pure science. We
Okay.
like many things, but if we don't have science in it, it's not easy to justify. So let me answer your question purely on scientific basis.
Okay.
Gold is very unique,
Hmm.
and as again I give credit to our ancestors. They were using gold. Maybe they didn't know the science, but they knew something about it. So why
Hmm.
is gold so unique? Gold
Hmm.
is unique because body doesn't interact with gold, which
Oh,
means if we
okay.
developed the pharmaceuticals using gold nanoparticles, and if we understood the proper dosage, we will not create toxic side effects in the body
Okay.
with the gold nanoparticles. Whereas Swarna Bhasma, which is great, which are gold nanoparticles, but has many other ingredients. One
Hmm.
of the disadvantages that the Western, uh, you know, uh,
Medicine.
medical experts, are concerned is
Hmm.
Swarna Bhasma and related Ayurvedic medicines.
Hmm.
They create systemic toxicity. For example, toxicity in the kidney,
Right.
nephrotoxicity. And gold
Nephrotoxicity.
nanoparticles, Swarnabhasma
Hmm.
made out of gold nanoparticles, we have seen no systemic toxicity, particularly no
Hmm.
toxicity to the kidney. We have
Okay.
done all those studies
Research.
systematically. verified
Wow.
it, produced it in several different countries.
Wow, that's a really very impressive, thing to know about, like, the so-called gold and silver, like, because I know that, especially Asian countries, that, we are very fond of gold and silver. And as a matter, I don't know if they use a real one in a, like, the sweets that they use sometimes in a very in a small amount, but I think that probably that could be the reason, and we never know. So, let's go to the little bit of it. Let's touch a little bit about the oncology. So I know that you also said that the same thing. The cancer also has much future with this kind of thing. So just reflect a little bit on that one.
Yeah, sure. In science, everything depends on investment, and we're fortunate that our patents were licensed to a company in India. It's
Mm-hmm,
called as 113 Nano Ayushadi, a very
mm-hmm,
nice Ayurvedic name. They
uh-huh,
established this company after they licensed our patents,
mm-hmm.
and then they invested in taking discoveries to the product,
Okay,
what we call it as bench to bed. That
right.
journey from bench to bed is very expensive. It involves
Okay, lot of.
lots of investment. So we're
Okay,
fortunate. We had a strategic investor.
mm-hmm,
We developed the technology. We helped them to conduct clinical trials. Clinical trials are done through a third party. We have no
right,
influence on the clinical trials.
right.
Then they treated, using our gold nanoparticles, they treated triple negative breast cancer patients
Mm-hmm.
with tremendous success. And we
Wow.
also published that paper recently in Science.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has to be peer reviewed, everything has to be verified by others.
Okay,
It's not that I need to get excited about my discovery. We always get excited, but it
right.
needs to be verified by several subject experts. We
Okay.
have crossed all that barriers now.
Mm.
So
Okay.
to answer your question, Anu, the gold
Mm-hmm.
nanoparticles, what we have produced, we have
Mm-hmm.
demonstrated that they are not toxic systemically when
Mm-hmm.
taken under certain doses. And
Mm-hmm.
those doses are effective in treating triple negative breast cancer, colon cancer,
Mm-hmm.
prostatic cancer, and many other types of cancers.
Right. Right.
So this is ongoing. We are seeing more and more data. This is just the beginning, as I said.
Okay.
So that's when we approached the United States Trademarks and Patents and
Okay.
Trademarks Office, because we're
Okay.
using principles of Ayurveda,
Right.
but we're applying green nanotechnology to make it more effective. So there's
Mm-hmm.
a Ayurveda and there's a nano. So I coined this,
Combination of both.
yeah, new terminology called nano Ayurvedic medicine.
Medicine. Right.
And
Right.
we are
Wow.
very happy
Really.
that the US Patents and Trademarks Office accepted that
Mm-hmm.
terminology, all our products under that name. Actually, it's now
Wow.
they're called as
Right.
nano Ayurvedic medicine. Yes.
Medicine. Wow. I mean, we're excited to know more about it, like probably in our next session. But so let's moving on to the next one that I want to talk about is so the most one that is being discussed is a COVID-19. So I know we I know we have talked about, like, there is one very exciting product that's been introduced, and many of these the so-called the silver, and also, like, we talked about glycoproteins, like how it actually work with that to break the barrier of the S protein. So let's touch a little bit about that one and explain that what exactly it does as a process, and how it is being successful even to get approved by the FDA for this product.
Yeah. Yeah, the story goes that we have been working on silver nanotechnology to develop a new range of antibiotics,
Okay.
because silver is very powerful as a metal.
Hmm.
And we knew that when you reduce normal silver, bulk silver into nanoparticles, the effectiveness goes up. So that
Okay.
was our hypothesis. And
Okay.
then over the last 20 years, we showed that the silver nanoparticles, what we have produced, are very effective against deadly bacteria, against staph, against E. coli, against Pseudomonas, against MRSA. And,
Hmm.
and then we went to the Indian regulatory agency and showed them our process. Our process qualified to be called as Ayurveda because we didn't use any toxic chemicals. We used
Okay.
plant-based herbs. with silver nanoparticles. That's
Okay.
when Ayurvedic doctors in India successfully treated human patients with pneumonia. There are examples of patients who had no hope of survival, and they were given our silver nano
Hmm.
because in pneumonia, you have to destroy bacteria such as Pseudomonas. You have to destroy
Okay.
bacteria such as staph. And our
Right.
silver nano is very, very effective.
Effective.
And
Right.
then the
Right.
COVID pandemic broke out. Then
Hmm.
we look back at our hypothesis.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't want to get into too much of science. I know we have audience with a great scientific background. We also have audience who are excited about knowing about COVID.
True.
So, COVID virus, if you look at its structure on the surface, all of you have seen very interesting spike structure. There are spikes on all across the COVID virus. Those are
Hmm.
called as spike proteins. And
Hmm.
it is through those spike proteins, they approach the proteins on the healthy cells, and that's how they fuse into healthy cells. And that's how the infection from one cell to another, they infect the entire body. Okay,
Okay.
this is where we thought that our silver nanoparticles, which also are encapsulated with certain types of proteins, they're called as
Okay.
glycoproteins.
Okay.
So we knew upfront that glycoproteins would have strong interactions with the spike proteins of the COVID
Hmm.
virus.
Right.
That was our thinking, and that really worked out. Then we sent our samples. Obviously we can't do this testing in our labs. There are
Hmm.
limited number of labs within the US, government accredited labs. We
Hmm.
sent our samples, they performed tests, and they obtained stellar data. We are able
Okay.
to show 99.99% efficacy to completely destroy the virus with our silver nanoparticles.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
they have. Go ahead.
how does the silver nanoparticle like interfere with that cycle? Like, that's at what phase? Like, and how does it? Is this like a neutralize it or like a destroy it on the site? Like, how does it do it? Like,
Yeah, it's no, just 1 second. I may have something to show you people. Just one
mhm,
second.
mhm.
Uh, yeah, if you want to use the silver nano,
Mhm.
just to clean up the surface. You asked the
Okay.
right question. Can we neutralize it? Yes.
Right.
We
Right.
can, yeah, we can just use it as a hand spray.
Hmm.
So it's a different nice fragrances are available. You can spray it on the desk to clean up the area. You can spray on your mask. In India, though, they have the approval to use it, this formulation, slightly modified formulation, for taking it orally. So, and they have
Oh.
treated numerous patients in
Okay.
hospitals using silver nano. We don't have the approval in the US for that, but
Okay.
this product, they recently obtained approval just for outside the body. This will soon become available in the US,
In the
in
US.
all the stores here. But
Okay.
for taking inside the body, it is used in India. They have the approval in Africa. They have the approval in the entire Middle East.
Hmm.
Uh, to get this product for intake in the US will take some time, but that's being actively done. Yes.
So, okay, so let's talk about a little bit about the Rajat Bhasma. Is that the one, that product that we are
Yes.
talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's a
so this,
Rajatapasma that is embedded in this and a range of products now. Yes.
okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
So, also let's go to a little exciting part about this one. So you said that the plants that we use are very known to us, that are like every day that we use it. So which are like any specific ones that you want to mention, that like is anything that can increase our immunity towards that, or something like that what we need to pay attention to, something more? I know that you said that in Ayurveda, everyone's body reacts very uniquely to every person. There is no one size fits all theory there. So, but at the same time, so there are certain things that are absolutely we can do to make our immune system stronger, or something to take care of ourselves by doing that one on an everyday basis.
Yeah, absolutely. There are many such plants,
Mm-hmm.
many such juices. We have to consume fresh fruits because
Mm-hmm.
they give a lot of antioxidants.
Mm-hmm.
And plants such as berries, such as gooseberry. We
Mm-hmm.
don't get gooseberries here in the U.S., but
Yes.
we get varieties of great berries,
Right.
blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, all of that we get. They all contain very powerful antioxidants.
Mm-hmm.
I think U.S. imports many of the herbs from India, including gooseberry.
Mm-hmm.
Turmeric extract is great, and the list goes on and on.
Right.
This is the only thing we need to remember. We need to make them bioavailable. Just by
Okay.
taking plant juice, it helps to some extent, but the body enzymes metabolize
Right.
those juices
Juices.
or cocktails of herbs. That's where
Okay.
we believe applying green nanotechnology and making products with these herbs would be the next medical revolution, as well as
Mm.
nutraceutical revolution, actually.
Right. So it's, yeah, I know that I'm familiar with the there is a tradition here in US is apothecary that is like, the customizing the medications too. So do you think these can be customized for each patient as well, depending on their allergies or anything for the medication or even the plants?
I strongly believe in that. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
an area,
Mm.
unfortunately, we haven't focused much.
Uh-huh.
But now, what did the pandemic teach us? Pandemic taught us that we need medications
Right.
not just to treat the infection. We need
Okay.
medications to treat the whole body, because
Right.
pandemic is not affecting one organ; it is affecting the
Right.
whole body.
Whole body. Right.
Yeah, but in Western philosophy, in Western medicines,
Uh-huh.
we don't have that. We are very specialized. Either
Right.
it is the lungs or the heart or the brain, but that's where Ayurvedic medicine, approached in a modern
Is
sense, science, would be
right.
such a fantastic future, because Ayurvedic medicine, right from its origins, is all
Uh-huh.
about treating the whole body. It's not a
Right.
symptomatic
Right.
medicine. It
Yes.
goes to treating the root causes of the disease.
Right.
It's a
Right.
medicine, and we need that now.
Right. So because Ayurveda focuses more on the strengthening the roots rather than just focusing on the disease itself, that way that it can protect more in a better
Exactly.
way. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
um, okay,
Yeah.
so that means like, do you think that there is a hope that we can actually do the combination of allopathic and Ayurvedic medicine? That is there, like, do you think that we're, I mean, I know that we all are so desperate right now that that any solution is a like a rope, like a ray of hope for all of us. So do you think that combination could be a better choice for all of us?
I strongly believe that that's the correct line of thinking.
Uh-huh.
Patients should get the benefit of both the holistic Ayurvedic medicine and the
Uh-huh.
Western medicine.
Okay.
Western medicine, there is nothing better than that in terms of diagnosis. Western
Mm-hmm.
medicine is great to treating individual organs, but
Mm-hmm.
Ayurvedic medicine, when you combine Western medicine with Ayurvedic medicine, then it becomes a complete platform, taking
Okay.
care of the whole body, taking care of the well-being, and hitting the root cause of the disease.
Right. Right.
Ayurvedic medicine, one of the beauties, as all of us recognize,
Mm-hmm.
its practice is based on giving the body the strength to fight the disease. That's important. That's what we call it as boosting the immune system.
Immune system. Right.
Yes.
Right. Right. I'm also more curious about that. Like I'm going back a little bit about like what you talked about the gold and the silver particles that how they carry glycoprotein. So is there a specific the conditions that you have to follow to make that happen, or is this just a my question is like, if it is that effective, why not inject directly? Why go through like a loop? Like, why do we have to go indirect? Like, if you know that something is working, then what happens if you directly increase the dosage or something like that, and then just give directly into the human body? What happens?
Well, yeah, that is being considered. We can, if there is a solid tumor,
Uh-huh.
now we have done the testing in animals, we can directly inject intratumorally. The
Uh-huh.
only reason we didn't start with the injections, because we wanted to stick with the Ayurvedic principles. In
Okay.
Ayurveda, it's
Uh-huh.
all oral, uh, you know, uh, oral administration or topical
Right.
administration.
Right.
But nothing
Mhm.
should stop us
Mhm.
if a medical situation arises, if a
Mhm.
clinical situation arises where we
Mhm.
need to treat a solid tumor or
Mhm.
we need to treat arthritis, then
Mhm.
we may have to inject directly into the knee joints or directly into the tumor. And
Mhm.
those studies are ongoing in our
Mhm.
laboratories.
Okay.
And we have seen some great data.
Okay.
Perhaps in a year or 2 years, we'll be
Mhm.
there in using these medications, as you rightly pointed out, for
All right.
for for direct injections. Yes.
Right, right. Wow, that is a very interesting conversation. Then I'm actually hoping that pretty soon that we will come up with something, some medication, to like with the confidence that we can say that okay, these are the strains, and then this is what we are going to do. So, do you think that any sooner that we can have that hope?
Yeah, the science is telling us,
Mhm.
the time it takes from science, which is the bench to the bed. As I
Mhm.
said, it involves investment of time and money.
Mhm.
I think we are doing the right things,
Mhm.
and I'm very optimistic that we will be able to practice this nano Ayurvedic medicine. Medical
Mhm.
doctors in India, in other countries are excited. There are
Mhm.
lots of medical doctors within the US. They're showing a lot of interest. So we
Right,
want this to be a global endeavor
right.
because disease doesn't stop at the boundaries.
Mhm.
Diseases go from one place to the
One
other.
place.
We are convinced about that. Pandemic is
Correct.
not the problem of one country. It
Correct.
is a
Correct.
global problem.
Right.
So we
Right.
need medications that are applicable globally.
Globally. So, well, thank you so much, Dr. Katish, because this was one of the most intriguing and extremely exciting news that we heard from you, especially with with your own research and with your own findings and approved by the FDA. So I'm hoping that we will get a lot more on this one as we go, because I know that we have been struggling the whole entire 2020, and then had a very hard time dealing with this pandemic. The whole entire life has been the turned upside down, and a lot of people are going through very difficult time, and so with this one probably we have some hope, and such things like we really want to look forward to the more findings and the more good results, and then promises on this one. So we will be having another great panel discussion on this Ayurveda, of course, with Dr. Khatej in this coming 19th of November. So I would like to invite all of you to join that one, because we're going to have more guests, and then we're going to even explore more about Ayurveda and find out a lot more about this one. The probably a best blessing that is about to come in the field of medicine. So thank you so much for joining. It was wonderful having you. And so, if is there a website that you want anyone, if they have more questions or anything, that then they can actually visit and know more about your research? Or so, if you can just tell our audience, is there a website that they can visit?
Yeah, they can go to my very simple kateshkati.com.
Hmm.
That's my website.
Okay.
So they can see all the research that's
All
going
the
on.
research. All
Yeah.
right. Well, thanks again, and have a blessed day, everyone. Have a good night. And again, that we are celebrating, the new start here, right here in the United States. So congratulations to the president-elect, as well as the vice president-elect Kamala Harris. So look forward to more, and I will see you again next Saturday, and with more on the news, and as well as the exciting show. So thank you so much for joining. Have a good night. Bye bye.
Okay. Thank you, Anu, and thank you all the audience. Yeah. Bye bye.